minus the substitution, which didn't see them in the final, but they set that world best time back in 2014 in Amsterdam, a 5:59
minutes.
sub 6 minutes. Absolutely incredible. But as we see, lane 1, Netherlands 1, lane 2, Switzerland, lane 3, New Zealand, lane 4, France 1, lane 5, Poland, and lane 6, Germany.
Amos Keizer and Nicky van Sprang from the Netherlands, from Lacher and Pampus, respectively 23 and 25 years of age. There are the two Swiss. Nico Stalberg, furthest away from you, was in the single last year. The stroke man, Roman Roisli, coached by Edouard Blanc. Stalberg, the older, at 26 years of age. His stroke man, just 24. Storied Harris, been out of sorts in Linz where they came fourth. Seem to be back on song here. Expect them in the second half of the race with the charge. John Story, furthest away from you in the bow seat, 30 years of age, and the older of the two, Chris Harris, in the stroke seat. So, another French crew on this day when France are in the World Cup finals of football. Hugo Boucheron, furthest away from you in the bow seat, and the stroke man, Mathieu Androdinas. Two young Poles, great result last year, took silver at the Worlds behind the Kiwis, but yet to find their form this year. Matt picks up in the stroke seat, Miroslav Zestarski behind him. And on the outside lane, they showed really fantastic form, I thought, to take that silver medal in Linz 3 weeks ago. Lars Hartig, closest to you, Timo Piontek, furthest away, both with their caps set back. It's very hot out here, and their coach Carsten Tim will have no doubt told them, keep cool,
Switzerland,
keep hydrated,
New Zealand,
keep switched on.
France, Poland, Germany. Attention.
Pretty even start from all six crews there. So they explode into action as the rate goes up through the roof. We're just looking at the speed. We've got 51 for the Swiss off the start. We're right in there with the Germans there at 45 strokes a minute. And you can see Lars Hartig, the 27-year-old from Friedrichstadter, just look across, check their position.
And it looked like they were the fastest off the blocks, along with lane 1 from the Netherlands, Keizer and Van Sprang. Faster starters here. They're probably a canvas up on the rest of the field. The Kiwis, I mean, we're used to seeing this from them. They're not typically the fastest of starters, but it'll be in that second 500 that they'll start to move themselves in.
Yes, Sarah, I was doing course commentary yesterday, and I kind of wrote them off a little bit in the semi-final because they were so far back, but so explosive in the second half of the course. There you see the Germans. Now we're riding with the Poles. Matthäus picks up the 24-year-old. You can see his sunglasses, very upright style, as he almost lean back as he comes to the front end. And across to the two Frenchmen there. It's Germany who lead. Over on the far side, you can see the double, Keizer and Van Sprang from the Netherlands, just sorting themselves out as they approach the 500-metre mark.
Wow, look at these four boats in the middle. Switzerland, New Zealand, France 1 and Poland. Locked together, bow ball for bow ball, and it's just the crews, the bookends on either side, who are out in a lead. Here we see the Germans. They have just the edge as they come up towards the 500-metre mark. But this field seems to be compressing rather than spreading apart at this point.
So 132 through the first marker, just 0.78 ahead of the Netherlands. New Zealand will be pleased with the fact they've moved through after that relatively slow start and then really started to move through now. You can see Calvin Ferguson, who is the coach of the crew, really works with the doubles. He coached that double that took the Olympic title in London, Cohen and O'Sullivan, that high-rating style. And really, they don't want to be too fussy in the first quarter, but then they start to move. Over there on the far side, you see the tall features of Nick van Sprang, 25-year-old, in the stroke of the Dutch crew. Behind him, Amos Keizer from Lacher, Dutch club up there in Delft, and the camera concentrating understandably on the Swiss. That's strokeman Roman Roisli with his cap set back, and Nico Stalberg, the older of the two, with his cap set forward. But Kiwis moving ominously through, Sarah.
Yeah, the Kiwis coming into the 1,000-metre mark here. They're establishing themselves stroke by stroke into the lead. John Story's parents over here watching him race all the way from New Zealand. So hello to those of you joining us from New Zealand, and watching some great performances so far. We could be looking at a third Kiwi gold medal of the day as the Kiwis get their bow ahead of the early leading Germans, who I think will pay for that early speed in this race.
So the German strokeman Lars Hartig looking across. I don't think they'll have the lead at 1,000 metres. It's going to be New Zealand. Well, perhaps it might just be Germany. Yeah, just Germany. They're at rate 37. The Kiwis have got their rate up at 40. There we see the German blades. That little white mark just to check, for the coach to check. Are they going flat through the water? Are they wasting any energy? But it's the Kiwis that will hit the front as they go into the third corner. This is their territory, and they're already in front, Sarah.
This is incredible as they're coming up to the 1250 metre mark. All of the crews are overlapping. I mean, you could throw a blanket over this field. This is the closest race we've seen so far today. No more than 2 lengths separating the entire field. The New Zealanders are the fastest moving boat. They're establishing themselves into the lead here. They're pushing past the Germans, but they're hanging in there, the Germans, over on this left-hand side closest to you on screen. The Dutch also hanging in there up on the other side, on the far side of the screen. And this is tricky in a racing situation. I mean, the Kiwis are moving into the lead so they can sort of see what's happening, but to have leaders on either side of the course actually makes it really tough to play the game.
There we see Chris Harris from Aramoho Wanganui, the same club as Kerry Gowler. Behind him, the country boy, the farm boy from Avon in South Island, John Story. As you heard Sarah say, his parents are out here. I met his mum. She's so proud to be watching her son. But the Germans have answered that charge of the Kiwis. I didn't really expect that. What a fantastic contest this is developing into.
Yeah, look, I wrote the Germans off there as I saw the Kiwis coming through, but they're hanging in there. The Germans perhaps with an ever so slight lead. That's certainly what the graphic on screen is telling us. But it is the Kiwis and the Germans who are locked together as they come through with 500 to go.
And the Poles have been edging through. Just looking at them on the speed graphic, the Poles rating at 39, 5.3 metres a second at the moment. The Poles are the fastest moving boat on the course. We're looking at the New Zealanders there. They are under serious pressure from Germany to their left, and Poland also on their left. You can see it now. The Germans in front, the Poles charging. This is sensational.
The sprint has started. They have to go now. The Kiwis are not matching it. It is the Germans who are moving themselves up into a lead. Coming with them are the Poles. But look at the compression from the back of the field. There isn't a chance to take any pressure off. We see the Swiss bowman, Nico Stahlberg, who we've seen in the single scull. He looks across as well. This race is coming down to the line.
So take a look in the centre lane. It's New Zealand. They are just well in the lead with Germany out there on the left of your picture in lane 6. The Poles are charging. There's the Germans. He's gritting his teeth. The German strokeman Lars Hartig, Timo Piontek is shouting, "We can win," as they come into the red boys. The Poles are coming for me. The Poles are going to take this, Sarah.
And look at Switzerland on the right-hand side. The Kiwis now have another challenge coming at them for the medal. It is the Poles who are getting themselves into the lead as here comes Switzerland.
Switzerland just powered off in that. Roman Ruizli, the Rodsay Roar, the cowbells are ringing. The New Zealanders might not get a medal. Poland, the world silver medalist from last year, are going to take the gold in this event. What a fantastic turnaround. Matthias Pixel, the 24-year-old, his bows are still in front, under pressure from Germany. I think the Swiss have got through the Kiwis. Sensational. Poland take gold, Germany takes silver, and then the Swiss will get a medal. They row the world champions out of bronze medal position. A sensational finish. The cowbells must have been ringing in their ears. Oh my God, we didn't pick that one, did we, Sarah?
We absolutely didn't, and I mean, we didn't even mention the French there. The French flew through to the line, almost got themselves into the bronze medal position. What a finish, but it is going to be the Swiss who got there. Nico Stahlberg in the bow seat. We saw him look across and obviously gave the call, and away they went to get themselves from 5th or 6th position up into the bronze medal position. But second place to the German men's double scull. What a race for them.
Germans were amazing. Little thumbs up from Timo Piontek across there, I think, to the Kiwis. They knew they were in a great race. Stahlberg and Ruizli, coached by Edouard Blanc, their old coach from the quadruple scull, and absolutely delighted with that performance. They got a real sprint on, and these Swiss crews, they do react, don't they, when you get to the grandstand. It's their water, that last 500 metres. There you see the Poles, that very distinctive style of Matti Bixup in the stroke seat. They're in that quad that came 4th in Rio, so real experience in that race. The Germans, well, they led off the start. They led briefly through that third quarter. There was the charge and the race between the Dutch and the Swiss, just as you see them coming into that final 500 metres, and they had a lot to make up, didn't they? 7:50 to go there.
It's just an incredible race. I mean, the lead changed so many times. Coming through that second 500, it all looked like it would be all very predictable, and I think we've just seen the most exciting race